Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. Today we're going to be looking at a pair of gloves called Venom grips. Venom grips are kind of interesting, but I feel like they may be outclassed by crafted items, and we'll talk about that as we go forward. But if you happen to find a pair and you wanted to use them specifically for the crushing blow or something along those lines, it certainly wouldn't be a bad choice until you manage to get something better. They do happen to have very high poison resistance, and we'll talk about this as we go along. So, Venom Grip Demonhide gloves are defense 118. They do have a variable there, but we'll talk about that later. 20 strength requirement, which is relatively low, and level 29, which is also relatively low. We have 60 poison damage added over 4 seconds, which at level 29 might actually help you a little bit, but by the time you get to the end of the game, it's not enough poison damage to be worthwhile. We have 5% lifesteal on these, which is static, so it's always 5%. We also have 5% crushing blow on these, which is static. Now, it is a really small amount of crushing blow, but it does help you. It is a 5% chance to deal 25% damage to any monster that has procced on, but it is their current HP, not their maximum. It does 12.5% versus bosses and 10% damage versus PvP players. It also is cut in half for range characters, so instead of 25%, it is 12.5% versus monsters, it is 6.25% versus bosses, and 5% versus PvP. We also have a 160% enhanced defense on these, which is a variable of 130 to 160%. Not really too big on the variable there. We have plus 25 flat defense on these as well, which does vary from 15 to 25. And then we have a very nice effect of plus 5% maximum poison resistance, as well as plus 5%, as well as plus 30% poison resistance to give you closer to that cap. Now, it's very interesting to note because if you have your character built, correctly, let's say you were trying to get 95% to all of your resistances. Well, poison is one of the ones that's very difficult to get 95% of. And if you wanted to do so, you would need to put Venom grips on. Venom grips are one of the few items in the game that have maximum poison resist on them. And as you can see, now I am at 95%. That extra 5% can make a huge difference in the amount of damage that you can absorb when it comes to poison. Maybe you're going up against Lilith, who is an absolute poison monster. Maybe you're going up against a Rabies Druid or a Poison Nova Necromancer in PvP, or maybe even a Venom Assassin. These could be useful to have in your stash, specifically to help protect you versus those characters. A lot of the times in PvP, you can adjust your equipment a little bit, and you can definitely make your life a little bit easier. If you were going up against a cold sorceress that has cold piercing, you could put on a shield that has a massive amount of cold resistance, or if you're going up against a fire sorceress or something like that, you could put on an item that gives you a massive amount of fire resistance, and so forth and so on. Well, this is kind of your ticket against poison characters. Whether you're going up against Lilith or whether you're doing PvP against a Poison Nova Necromancer, this could be a very interesting choice. Now, they do lack 20% increased attack speed, and they don't really have a lot of other good effects on them besides the poison resistance and the crushing blow, which kind of makes them a little lackluster. And one of the things that you can definitely use, which is better than these, is a very nice pair of crafted blood gauntlets. So crafted blood gauntlets can have up to 10% crushing blow, which is of course 5% more than these. They also have lifesteal up to 3%, and they can spawn with other nice modifiers like 20% increased attack speed. They can spawn with plus to skills like plus 2 to passive and magic, plus 2 to javelin, plus 2 to bow. They can also spawn with I think it's plus 2 martial arts. And, just in general, I believe that the crafted the crafted blood gauntlets can be far superior to these in most situations. Really where these shine is the protection against poison. Poison resistance is one of those things which is relatively looked down on. Most people don't really care about poison resistance, and they feel like poison resistance isn't really that big of a deal. But then you come across a monster like Lilith, or you come across a freaking OP Nova Necromancer running like the god levels of poison damage, and you start to realize that maybe you could use a little bit of poison resistance for those scenarios. And that's kind of where Venom grips kind of slide in, is they slide in those situations where you just really kind of want to protect yourself versus poison. At level 29, though, they're actually really nice. A choice for Crushing Blow gloves. And I think most people at level 29, if they found these, wouldn't be too sad. Let's go ahead and upgrade these, though, to the next tier, and let's see what kind of defense bonus we can get with these. So to upgrade these, we're going to need a Limb, a Co, and a Perfect Diamond. And bink, bink, bink. They're going to go from 118 defense, 20 strength, level 29, to 186 defense, 50 strength, level 49. So kind of a nice little bump in defense there. I'm actually not sad about that. I definitely did go from about 80 defense higher, and when you apply things like your Holy Shield, for instance, that's going to go up quite a bit more. As you can see, I go from 11,995 to 12,906 for putting these on, which is a pretty nice bump considering, you know, using all of my bonuses to defense. If I was using these around end game, that would definitely be a good upgrade. As you can see, the level requirement didn't go up too ridiculously high. It went from 29 to 49, which isn't even really that bad. And these are the elite form, so it doesn't go up any higher than this. If you were using Venom Grip Gauntlets, I would say that is definitely a good upgrade. Now, the other question is, where do we find these? So let's go over to Silo's Pen real quick, and we'll take a look, and we'll see what is the best place to farm for a pair of Venom Grip Gauntlets. So here we are over on Silo's Pen, and we're going to look up Venom Grips. And since they're level 29 gauntlets, we're going to assume that we don't really have a lot of magic find. So we're going to run 0%. And we're going to do players 1, 0%, and we're going to do bosses. So it looks like Bale in normal difficulty is a really good chance. 1 in 640, not bad. And then we also have Andariel in Nightmare, not a bad chance, at 1 in 664. So Nightmare Mephisto, also pretty good at 1 in 734. Interesting. Let's take a look at Super Uniques. So we've got Neelathak in normal difficulty, 1 in 5,413. A lot of Nightmare difficulty monsters here. Treehead Woodfist in Nightmare, that would be a decent farming choice. Bishibosh in Nightmare, decent farming choice. Bonebreaker, also easy to get to. Cold Crow, pretty easy to get to. She's in the cave level 1. Corpse Fire, of course, is in Den of Evil, so also very easy to get to. Pindleskin in normal, 1 in 7,803. Not a bad chance for a monster that is relatively easy to kill. Pindleskin in normal difficulty is a super easy to kill monster, super easy to find monster, and something that you could farm relatively quickly over and over again. So that would definitely be a good choice. You know what? Let's take a look really quickly at normal difficulty monsters, and we'll see what normal difficulty monsters there are. So we've got Pindle, Thrash Socket, Doc Farron. These are all relatively easy monsters to get to. Doc Farron is right there in the middle of the siege zone. Super easy to find, super easy to kill. Thrash Socket is at the end of Ariat Plateau. Super easy to find, super easy to kill. Pindleskin is also super easy. Obviously much easier than the other two to find and kill because you just walk through the portal and there he is. Very, very nice. You could easily farm Doc Farron, Thresh Socket, and Pindle over and over again, and that would be a pretty nice combo to get your hands on these. Obviously, if you have a little bit of magic find, it's going to make it a little bit easier. I'm running 0% because I wanted to show off a new character trying to farm these, not a 500% magic find level 99 character trying to farm these. Which I'm sure if you had 500% magic find, it would be a lot easier to find. Anyway, as always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, even when we're talking about a very pair of venomy, poisonous gauntlets, such as the Venom Grips. And as always, keep watching.